What is up, Tube users, and welcome back to another installment of Overwatch 2 Heroes, an in-depth guide. Today, we are taking a look at another one of my least played heroes, but after her recent changes, I've been having a lot of fun playing her, and that is Sombra. Let's get right into things and talk about her passive ability. Sombra's passive ability is Stealth. This is a passive ability that automatically kicks in 3.5 seconds after Sombra has stopped offensive actions, hasn't taken damage, or has been crowd controlled. While in Stealth, Sombra moves 45% faster and cannot be seen unless enemies get within her radius or is detected by something like Hanzo's Sonic Arrow or Widowmaker's ultimate. While in Stealth, Sombra cannot be targeted by targeted attacks, such as Cassidy's High Noon, or Soldier's 76's ultimate, or Moira's alternative fire. Turrets and Ashe's Bob will also not target Sombra while in Stealth. Now, let's move on to talk about her primary fire. Sombra's primary fire is Machine Pistol. This is a short-range hit-scan weapon that deals 8 to 2.4 damage depending on the range. The damage fall-off starts at 15 meters and reaches its minimum damage at 35 meters. This weapon also fires fairly quickly at 20 rounds per second. One good thing to note about the spread of this gun is the first 6 shots are always precise, meaning they will hit at the center of your crosshair every time. After those 6 shots, however, the bullet spread will reach its maximum, which still is pretty minimal compared to some other weapons. Now, let's talk about Sombra's alternate fire. Sombra's alternate fire button isn't anything to do with her machine pistol, but is rather hack. This is a targeted ability that can be used on health packs, enemies, and most enemy abilities. Hacking health pack respawns them 4 times faster and can be only used by your teammates for the duration of the hack. Hacked health packs are also revealed through walls for your teammates. Enemy objects can also be hacked. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, hacking an enemy object disables them for up to 10 seconds. And finally, Sombra can also hack enemies. When an enemy is hacked, they cannot use any of their abilities for 1.5 seconds and are revealed to the enemy team for 8 seconds. Revealed allows the enemies to be seen through walls. Hacking an enemy while they are using an ability will also negate that ability, for the most part. There are some abilities that won't be cancelled, but we'll get into that in a bit. For now, let's move on to Sombra's newest ability. Sombra's first ability is Virus. This is a projectile that deals 10 damage on impact and 100 damage over time to the target. If the target is hacked beforehand, the impact damage is doubled to 20 damage, and they take the 100 damage in half the time. Usually this damage over time takes 4 seconds to deal all the damage, but on hacked target it only takes 2 seconds. This ability also moves in a straight line and fairly quickly at 51 meters per second. It's also worth noting that this projectile cannot deal critical headshot damage to enemies. Now, let's move on to Sombra's next ability. Sombra's second ability is Translocator. This is an ability that was changed slightly on how it used to be played. This ability is an arcing projectile that Sombra throws, and after a quarter of a second, or if it hits any surface, Sombra will teleport to the location of where the Translocator was thrown. Sombra definitely has a pitcher's arm, throwing this projectile incredibly fast at 72 meters per second. This gives Translocator an effective maximum range of 18 meters. After teleporting, Sombra becomes immune to damage for 0.4 seconds and is cleansed of most negative effects. Now, let's move on to talk about her ultimate ability. Sombra's ultimate ability is EMP. This is a large radius hack of 15 meters that deals 30% of the enemy's current health and hacks them. This ultimate also destroys all enemy barriers, including Symmetra's photon barrier. EMP also is slightly stronger than hack because it can disable things that hack normally can't, but we'll get into those in just a minute. For now, let's dive into heroes that counter and are countered by Sombra. Sombra is an excellent dive DPS that is extremely deadly at killing backlines and enemy stragglers. A tank hero she plays well against is Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball kind of works in a similar fashion to Sombra, where he wants to target enemy backlines. But with Sombra's ability to hack and disable his escapability, he can be left pretty vulnerable in enemy backlines. A DPS hero Sombra plays well against is Widowmaker. Widowmaker typically plays far back and usually covers long lines of sight. Thanks to Sombra's stealth passive, she can easily sneak up and get behind an enemy Widowmaker and take her down before she even knows what happened. As for a support hero Sombra plays well against, I'm going to go with Zenyatta. Zen is basically a glass cannon, with the ability to do a lot of burst damage and then some thanks to his Discord Orb. Sombra, however, cannot be targeted by Discord Orb while she is stealth, allowing her to get up close and personal to Zenyatta and burst him down quickly with ease. Now let's look at the flip side of things and see which heroes counter Sombra. While Sombra excels at diving heroes and quickly bursting them down, she can have trouble if that hero is able to sustain her initial burst damage. A tank hero who plays well against Sombra is Zarya. Zarya with her bubbles can cleanse allies of being hacked, plus she gains decent charge from cleansing the damage of virus. This can make it difficult for Sombra to burst down and dive a target. A DPS that plays well against Sombra is Pharah. While Sombra is a hit scan hero, her damage from range is pretty negligible, and Pharah can easily stay out of that range while keeping a watch on her allies from the skies. Finally, a support hero that plays well against Sombra is Brigitte. Brig excels at protecting her backline, so she usually has an easy time stopping a Sombra that's trying to kill people in her backline. Now, let's dive into some tips and tricks for Sombra. Sombra is really good at disabling or destroying enemy ultimates just with hack and EMP. EMP can do a little bit more just because of its ultimate ability of destroying barriers and stuff. It has a little bit more cancel ability on different ultimates, but both hack and EMP can do a lot to disable enemy ultimate abilities. Here is a list of what I believe is most of the ultimate abilities that she can hack or can EMP, just for context. One quick thing to note about this list is that Diva Bomb can't be hacked, but her remeching back into her mech can be hacked and disabled, so it's good to note that, I think. One important thing to note about Sombra's Translocator ability that isn't even shown in the tooltips or anything on the page, on the wiki page for Sombra, is Translocator will cut down the stealth time by half, I believe. So if you go out of stealth, use your Translocator, the passive ability for stealth, the time to get back into stealth will be cut in half. One trick, although it's changed a little bit on how you're able to do it, thanks to hacking an enemy getting you out of stealth, is to hack and hide. So basically what you want to do is use your hack, then translocate away from the person you're hacking so you get back into stealth quickly, and that way they're kind of paranoid looking around at where they think you are, and that way you're able to see them and your allies are able to see them for that 8 seconds, and you can pounce back onto them before that hack reveal is gone. Although now the hack and hide isn't as useful, I think it's honestly better to open up on enemies with a virus, because usually as long as enemies staying pretty still, you can get that virus off, which is your biggest damage dealer, just to help burst enemies down, and then you shoot them down, and you can hack them too during that time. Typically I don't really use hack all that often. I like to use it if I'm engaged in a fight. I'll hack targets and then I'll try and throw my virus on them, but to initially start a fight I won't hack that target, and I'll usually just try and burst them down with my machine pistol and with a virus if I land it. With Sombra's new Translocator being a thrown object that is just automatically used after a quarter of a second, you can't really do the old tricks of setting and forgetting. But what I found is really useful to escape enemies is just to throw the translocator up in the air. Typically they'll be able to kind of see that you're doing that, but most of the time they're not going, enemies aren't going to look up to try and fight you. And I really just find, and usually you'll be able to get back into stealth at that point, and it's pretty easy to avoid enemies once you're in stealth. So I like to throw my translocator up in the air, even if I'm not looking to escape. I just want to get in a different position on enemies. Just throwing it up in the air and just kind of going somewhere different on the landing is a really good idea, I feel. Another good thing to note is that if you are playing against an enemy Kiriko, she is able to cleanse both your hack and your virus. So making sure that if you're going to use your virus, that she has used her cleanse is always a good idea. Like in this game here that I'm playing, we're playing against an enemy Kiriko, and I basically, anytime she used her cleanse, I try to use my virus and hack immediately. And anytime I saw that hack used when I had my ultimate, I EMP'd right after the cleanse was used. It's always a good way to counter Kiriko, because cleanse is a real pain to try and deal with. Sombra is also a great hero to learn where health packs are on the map. Because you really do want to be trying to hack health packs. I believe you can have up to 2 health packs hacked at the same time. And usually what I like to do is try and hack health packs that are in the middle of the fight. So on this map, on Elias Well, there isn't a large health pack. You typically want to hack the large health packs, but there isn't one close to this middle area where most of the fighting happens. So I usually just hack the side ones in like one of the rooms, or there's another hack, or another health pack rather, over in the other building. So it's always good to be on the lookout, and anytime I'm just about to get a health pack, I'll usually hack it right before, just so I can, and especially if it's a small one and I need a couple of them to survive, I'll hack it and then grab the health pack multiple times. But yeah, just knowing where health packs are on the map and hacking them is such a useful tool to help your team out, because hacked health packs the enemies aren't able to get. So hacking the ones, especially on the enemy side, is super helpful, because it's just less healing that they will receive. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Comment any other tips and tricks for Sombra you have, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.